Okay, thank you guys for joining us today for the game plan. I am so excited to see all of you, and I know it's a holiday weekend, so I'm especially grateful that you guys are joining me today. We did a game plan for some people this morning at 9 a.m., and we're going to do another one at 3. So if this is helpful to you and you want to jump back on or you want to get somebody on your team, just know we're going to be doing it again at 3 o'clock. So, okay, so I want to start out by just saying how grateful I am for each and every one of you, and of course, grateful that I have air conditioner since it's 110 here in Santa Clarita Valley. It's like, oh my gosh. So I believe in you completely right now. Before you achieve your goal, I already see your success. And I think that's a really great way to start our day, because sometimes, people see things in you that you might not see in yourself. And so I believe in each and every one of you for showing up today, and I'm just very grateful that you're here. And so every day I start my day off with happiness and gratitude, positivity, things like that, to help the trajectory of my day start out, no matter which side of the bed I woke up on. And so I wanted to start our game plan today a little bit about the company and about what our company is and who really is the leader of our company, and that's Jeff Olson. And for anybody that's new or that's restarting their business, or maybe that you've been around for a while, it's great to remind ourselves of really who our leadership is. And Jeff Olson is not only a leader of Miriam, but he's also a leader of the happiness movement, and he's also a leader in the country in terms of bringing happiness to the United Nations and things like that. So there's a lot of things about this man that is very forward thinking. And what he has done is he's married, the network marketing industry with science-based products that are absolutely proven, along with this happiness movement to really give us this secret weapon in business, right? Because when you have happiness and you have gratitude, they've proven in science, they've proven in business, that's really the precursor to success. That's the precursor to success in almost anything in your life. And I was reading this morning this article that Jeff Olson was involved in, and it talked about all direct selling skills can be gained by being self-motivated, disciplined, and determined. It's all about making a plan, working your plan to completion, staying organized, setting goals, and developing a plan for achieving personal sales objectives. Those are the keys to success. And, Jeff Olson, he's always talked about duplication. He's always talked about, the system of Miriam and why that is so effective for people and why that's a system that we can actually duplicate. And so I wanted to start off that way because one of the things when I started in Miriam, as a business owner, I had already had a lot of knowledge in owning my own business and Robert having his own business. And I was always very entrepreneurial, but I didn't really understand the idea of duplication because as an owner, I was the expert. I was the one that people wanted to talk to and meet with and have all the answers. And in this industry, it's so much different. It's all about being able to do simple things and being able to duplicate them effectively. So the one thing I will tell you is that each and every person on this Zoom today, no matter how new you are into this industry, no matter how new you are into Miriam, no matter how much experience you've already had, the one thing that is paramount that we all are today is we are leaders. And we are leaders because we decided to open up our own business. And whether that's Miriam or any other business, it's the same thing. You as the owner of your own business, you become the leader, okay? And so our game plan really starts out with you as the leader. You're the one who has to, decide how you want to not only lead yourself, but then lead the people that you bring into your business, not only as partners, but actually as customers as well. And so the game plan is about redefining, reminding, and redeveloping our game plan for success. The greatest part of that is that we have a proven system. So what I'd like you to do is get out a pen and a couple of blank pieces of paper so that you have the ability to take some notes. And I'd also like you to get out your calendar. And the reason for that is because once we put this game plan into practice, you are going to want to fill up your calendar. You're going to want to write out, some key things to strategize on how you're going to grow your company. And it's going to be very simple and visual. And I think sometimes when it's visual and you can look at it every day, it really is very, very effective. So leadership is about empowering people, inspiring people, leading people, and sharing a vision. And I think, the vision that we have with Nerium that got us all started, well, for me personally, the vision first was I could see that this product worked. I thought to myself, wow, this product, and I think we all kind of go through that when we use the products. We go, wow, this product really works. If this works for me, I wonder what it's going to be like working for my friends. And I wonder if this business works for me, I wonder what that would be like for my friends, my associates, the people that I come across. So you have to have that in line. You have to be really clear on the fact that whatever you decided on why you got involved with Nerium or why you decided to start a business, the reason has to be very, very solid, because it's all about really your belief. But when we do a business plan, when we do a game plan, we want to have some SMART goals. And the reason why we want to have some SMART goals is because it helps us guide us along our path in the system that we're going to be following. And so we always want to put those in front of us, on the side of us. And that's why I want you to have your calendar out, because I want you to really envision where you want to be this month, next month, the following month, and at the end of the year. I mean, we have 4 solid months to utilize a game plan to make absolute magic happen in your organization. And so specific and measurable goals are really important to really, write down and decide. Make that decision on what it is you want to do. And you want to make it attainable. You want to succeed. You want to have success so that you can share that success with other people. And that's why you want to make it realistic. You don't want to put big, giant goals out there that you couldn't possibly achieve. It's okay to dream big, but you want to put goals in front of you that you can absolutely achieve. And then you want to rethink, remake, and redevelop other goals as you start meeting your goals. And you want to give yourself a time-based goal, right? So you could even start out your game planning this week that, this week I want to be 3 or 4 qualified at Nerium. I want to make sure that my product is free in October. So this week, that's what I'm going to focus on. If other things happen, that's great, but I'm going to focus on 3 or 4. So your time-bound based goals are very, very important. And they can be weekly, they can be monthly, they can be yearly. But I think sometimes it's actually kind of fun to say, today my goal is I'm going to talk to 3 people, 3 new prospects. I'm going to share the video 3 times. So that's what I'm talking about. So on your sheet of paper, you might want to write down some specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based goals that you could really achieve, okay? So when we talk about a game plan and when we're redeveloping, doing our plan, we always want to start with our why, go back to our why, because our why is what really keeps us in the game. Our why is the reason why we do the things we do. It's the reason why we go to bed late, why we get up early, why we're excited, why you can hear the excitement in our voice, see the excitement in our body, and, know that, every single day you've got a purpose. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and, she was telling me how she got a new job. And I said, well, do you like it? And she goes, I wasn't sure if I liked it until I found my purpose. And I said, well, what was your purpose? And she said, well, I figured out that I started working for this company, and the lady that's my boss, she has a 2-year plan of retirement. And so my purpose now has become to help her segue into her retirement, and by being the best I can be as a help to her to do that transition. And I thought that was so great, that she went to this new job and she found out what her why was, what her purpose was. And then you have to always be looking at your belief. A lot of times things come up in life and your belief gets taken away from you, or sometimes it gets a little weak. And I'll tell you, when I first started with Nerium, I didn't know anything about the industry, and I certainly didn't know how to do the industry. I was banking on the fact that I knew a little bit about business, but the reality is what I believed mostly in is that basically the product worked. That was the first thing that I believed. I had no idea about the business. what happened was I got my belief based on other people that I met along the way. I believed in Jeff Olson. I listened to what his vision was. I listened to what his purpose was. I listened to other people around me that were already in the business, and I listened to why they were in the business and why they believed in not only these products, but why they believed in this entire business model. And I really took it all in. I was open, and I borrowed that belief until I had the strength that they had. And the desire came from, and I'm not going to lie, the desire was I wanted that car. My first initial why was to get that Lexus because it was the new convertible that I saw had just come out on the Lexus. And I thought the timing was amazing. We had just come out of the recession. Robert didn't want to buy any new cars or anything. And I was looking at this convertible thinking, well, I'll know really quick if this business is real, because if I can earn that Lexus, I know other people can earn that Lexus. So my desire became incredibly, strong, because I thought, okay, well, this will be proof. If I do it, then other people can do it. And then I had to learn about being coachable. And it was a big one for me because, I've owned my own business. My husband's had a business. I've always been, very confident about things. And I didn't really understand what it meant to be coachable until I started learning about the fact that I wasn't very coachable. And I had to be honest about that. I had to be honest that, I had very distinctive style. I had a way that I did business, and I thought that I was pretty successful in what I did. But the reality is this was a new industry, and I had never been in it before. And I didn't really understand what the words coachable meant until I absolutely it was out of necessity that I had to learn that. But basically it comes down to business 101 in my book. In any business that you start or any industry that you get involved with, you're dealing with literally business 101, and you can bring things from your past, but I'll tell you, in the moment, you're learning just like everybody else as you go along the way. So, sorry, this is a little out of focus, but really and truthfully, what this is really all about for us is planning and then implementing, planning and then implementing, planning and then re-looking at it and implementing again. And if we can continually do that, and we can really know that this is a real business and this is how business runs, you do best practices, and some things work for you better than all other things, but you consistently stay with the system, and you just keep planning and implementing the plan. And if you do that over and over and over again, you're going to see success. So the first thing that we start out with is building our list. And in any game plan, in any company, in any business, you have to have a list of people that you're going to. Some people have a monstrous list. If you're opening a grocery store, you have a demographic of a city or a town. You're given statistical information about why you should put a market there, why you should put a restaurant there, how many restaurants can be in a certain area. Those demographics for any business are exactly what the planning stages are all about when you open up a business. What does it look like? Where is it? Where is it located? How many people can come every single day? So when you open up a business, you want to know who's gonna want my product. Well, the greatest part is there isn't anybody that isn't going to want your product. You've got stuff for your skin, you've got stuff for your brain, you've got stuff for your health, you've got the whole package here at Miriam. But more than that, you've got products that actually work and they benefit you. So you're building this list of people that you honestly love and care about, and those people along the way that you meet. You can be very proud of what you've got here. That's part of the belief. That's part of why you're doing what you're doing, because you have something really awesome to share. So you want to build that list, and that list is continuous. It doesn't stop with your first 100 people, because I guarantee you this, you don't always hit everybody on that list. Sometimes you're afraid. Sometimes you don't want to go to the certain people. Sometimes you're afraid of lots of things keep you from doing that. That's why it's important to keep building that list, reminding yourself who's on that list, looking at, your social media, looking at your phone, looking at how it is that you interact with people and things like that. So it's very, very important for you to constantly be building lists. So whether you're restarting your business today, or you're replanning your business for the end of the year, or you're replanning it for just today, doesn't matter. The list is the primary key number one thing. Hold on a second, you guys. There's a line in this, and I want to kind of get rid of that. Hold on a second. So the next thing that you want to do after you've built your list is you want to prospect your list. So you want to decide how are you going to share what you've got. And so when you're building that list, you're going to make a decision. You're going to say, okay, these top people on my list for this week, who am I going to get to come to an RRP? Who am I going to get the product out? Who do I want to share a video with? Who do I want to sit down with? How do I want to follow up? Who do I want to, get a three-way call going with? These are the things that we do in our business. Pretty darn simple stuff, right? But the implementation of it is where the real magic comes in. And so when you're building your list, you're kind of deciding, how do I want to expose this person? What's the first thing that I would like this person to see? Was it a video? Do I want to have them over my house for a little party? Do I want to share the product? Do I want to sit down? What are the tools that I have here that are going to be most effective for the people that I know? So what I do, and what I've been doing for a couple of years now, is I call this my Fortune 14. And basically what my Fortune 14 is that every Sunday I put together a list of people that I know I'm going to connect with at least 2 a day. And I say minimum 2 a day because when I went wanting to get that Lexus, and when I first started with Miriam, I was contacting 15 people a day. I was on a mission. I was trying to prove to see if this really worked, and I wanted to know, how fast can I get this done? How fast can I make this happen? So you want to look at that list, and you want to pretty much put at least 14 people on your list that you're going to get in contact with this week. You're going to connect. Okay, so choose 2 people a day and decide, how do I want to connect? So for me, a lot of times when I'm connecting, I connect with people, pretty much 2 people a day before 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. How do I do that? I utilize the back office. I utilize Go Prospect. I send out a couple videos, or I might text them and I might say, hey, you know what? My company just produced this new video and I'm looking for some feedback. If I send you this, could you just watch it today? And I'm going to give you a call and you can give me your feedback. The reason why I tell them I'm going to give them a call is because I'm setting up the expectation so that they know that, I'm going to be following up. And the funny thing is that when you follow up with a phone call or you follow up with a meeting, oh, hey, would you meet me for coffee? I'd love to go over some things. The way you're communicating and connecting is really important, because what you hear in my voice or what you see in my face or my body language is 78% of communication, effective communication. Texting and emailing is not, because people can't really see your emotion. They can't really get your energy. They can't feel you. And that's where the difference is in people being successful is you don't want to just text somebody what you're doing. You want them to feel what you're doing. You want them to really, really feel your energy about what you're doing, because that is infectious. So you're going to choose 2 people a day at least for the next week to either get the product out, get them to a party, get them to watch a video, get them on a 3-way call, or get them at a sit down. And that is what Miriam is. That's it. That's all we do. And if we can do that effectively, we are literally on the roadmap to Lexus. And so here's where our game plan really starts to take effect. So the first thing that we want to do, no matter where we are in this business, we want to make sure that we have a foundational business. Foundation in any business is a key component. It doesn't matter if you're a Vaughn's Market or you're in Miriam Brand Partner. It doesn't matter if you sell houses. It doesn't matter if you're in the mortgage business or you're in, I don't know, you own a clothing store, or it doesn't matter if you're a photographer. All these examples, the number one thing is you have to have foundation before you can build a business. And so Miriam's system is a perfect system, because what they teach you to do is build your foundation as quickly as possible. So they give you incentives in the first 30 days. And so for any of us that have been in the business for 5 years, 5 months, 5 minutes, it doesn't really matter. You're constantly, continually building your book of business in terms of customers. that book of business turns into a residual income over time. And so the fastest way to do that is by getting your own customers and then getting business partners to get their customers and duplicating that process over and over and over and over again. So residual income doesn't necessarily show up month one, and it probably doesn't show up until maybe month 6 or 7, depending on how much business you're building. But it's a book of business. And I always say to people, you know, any business that I've been in, my talent agency and the clothing store I own, it wasn't until 5 years where my book of business started to really show up for me. There was absolutely no residual life in terms of customers and people coming back and knowing that, you know, they were solid foundational people in my business. It took 5 years. And I think statistically, most businesses take 5 years plus to really build a strong foundation. But in Nerium, it can be as fast as you want. And that's kind of the game changer, because it's an individual thing. If you want to go fast and build a foundational business, you're out there getting customers and you're out there trying to find brand partners to build your business with you. Okay. And so you want to continually build your 3 or free qualification as fast as you can. And along the way, you're also going to get brand partners. So you want to, in my first month, I got 5 brand partners. 3 of those brand partners did absolutely nothing in the business, still haven't done anything in the business. But you know what? It didn't matter. You know, when I first got started, I was like, hey, I'm doing this thing and I'm trying to see if I can earn this car, see if it's real. So that was my original why. I know it's not sexy and I know it's not that meaningful, but the reality is I just wanted to see if it could work. So our roadmap is very simple, right? You get your customers, you start your foundation, you get some brand partners, you build foundationally there, and then you learn to duplicate the process. So here's a look at what that looks like, okay? So here's you've built some customers. Once you get to 9 customers, you're at the top of the comp plan there for any customer that comes in your business. And you also build your 3 brand partners, and now what you've done now is duplicated that process, and you get to what's called director. Now, this is a perfect picture, you guys, of how this business flows, but it isn't always a perfect picture. There's a couple of different ways, few different ways that you can get to director, okay? So don't worry about looking at this perfect picture if it's not you. Just understand that this company makes it so much fun to really build a foundation first with customers, get your brand partners, duplicate that. Many times you could have yourself and 3 brand partners and just a ton of customers, and you could be at director. So, you know, there's many ways to get there. But the reality is that if you're building and you're duplicating, you want to get your 3 brand partners, you want to get them 3 or free qualified, and you want to get them their 3 brand partners. And when you do that, you will be a solid foundational director. Okay, so the idea is that you're foundational, your people will be foundational. That's the way it works. Remember I said once you get into this business, you become a leader. That's leadership. You are the person that people follow. So whatever you're doing, they're doing. Okay, so if you start out a certain way and you're not following the system, you don't think that your people are going to follow the system, because they follow you. And that's why it's critical for us all to really build foundationally and understand duplication so that we can all have success. Okay, so the next goal that we're going to go for, guess what? It's the car. Now, I'll tell you, this was unbelievable to me, because when I first started with Nerium, I thought, okay, I want to get that car, and is that achievable? What I didn't understand was that this was the 3rd promotion. This is not the top of the comp plan. This isn't the top of the company. But this is amazing. In your very 3rd promotion, you can absolutely earn a Lexus car bonus. Are you kidding me? I was out of my mind when I figured that out. And that's why I got up early and I went to bed late. And that's why I contacted 15 people a day, because I wanted to make something happen. I wanted to see how this worked. And so, yeah, we brought in 3 people who ended up bringing in 3 people each who ended up doing the same thing. How did we do that? We shared the product, we shared a video, we shared a party, we shared a sit down, and we shared a 3-way call. That's all we did, but we did it a lot. So the game plan, you guys, is the same game plan since the very beginning of the company. The difference between you and me, or me and anybody at any given time, is implementation. How fast do you want to go? How big do you want to grow? What is it that you want to do in terms of your business? Your business is different than my business. And by the way, you don't have to want to run fast. The greatest part about Nerium is it's your own business. You can go any way you want. If you want to say, okay, in 6 months, I think I'd like to earn that car, or I've got a lot going on right now, I just want to get the product, or I think I'm happy just being a director and making a few extra $100 a month. Nerium says, great, wherever you are is where you are, but we have a plan. We have a master plan that when you decide that you want to do something else, when you decide if you want to have growth, this is what we can help you do. And here's the greatest part, you guys. You can design your own team. You have the game plan every single day to design your own team. And every single time somebody new comes into your organization, or if you're new, you have the ability to design your team. Now here's a diagram of empty circles. And you put yourself at the top on your piece of paper. And you can put senior director there. You can put executive director there. You can put director there. Whatever you want, any rank you want. And you can design your circles and then start putting in the names of the people that you would just absolutely love in your business. It may not always come true, but design it that way. When Robert and I first started, we talked about our first 3 circles. We wanted it to be our Maui beachfront property. That's what we called it, because we knew that if we were serious and we were going to build this business, everything was going to run through those people. And we thought, okay, those have to be people that really want to build a business. We thought this is the things that went through our mind. But it turned out that the people that we put in that Maui beachfront property were our kids. So they didn't really do anything, right? So the next tier of people that we put under our kids ended up being our Maui beachfront property, of different people that came into our life. And so your Maui beachfront property is all through your organization, because those are the people that decide they might want to run with you or not. It's okay. Anybody that's in your organization that's getting the bottle, that maybe has a few customers, every single person is important. Every single one. But there are some people that want to run like you. And so those are the people that you want to help design their organization as well. You want to meet people where they're at. So I love this diagram because you can fill it in any way you want, and you can basically design this as you go every single week, every single month. You know, this is like a whiteboard of you saying, hey, I wanted to have a whole new team. What would that look like in my life? Okay. And then you want to duplicate that. So the other part of the game plan, you guys, which never ever disappoints, is basically our core commitments of the business. You know, Jeff Olson put this into play many, many, many years ago when he first started in the industry. And today it holds very, very true. And by the way, everything that I'm talking to you about is in the back office in the marketing center under your success planner. And the success planner is important because it's your roadmap to success of this business. It's your franchise. It basically tells you everything you need to know about Nerium and this business and how to succeed. So I want to talk a little bit about the 10 core commitments because, you know, this system is exactly the system of Nerium. And as you can see, it's not that difficult, right? But it's all about the implementation. So we've talked a little bit about, you know, the getting at least 2 exposures. If you want to go faster, get 10 exposures a day. Do whatever it takes to get where you want to go, what you want to do. But at least do 2 exposures, because that's a way for you to really get your business consistent and start building foundationally. New brand partner training, you know, I'll tell you, we have a great new brand partner training in the back office. We also have start.nerium.com that just came out after convention. And that's another place that you can go and relook at the Fast Start game plan with Mark Smith and relook at how to start your business over again. And just think about this, you guys. Every single day when we wake up in the morning, it's a new start. It's a new day. Okay, so that's something that I want to remind you in business. It's always a do-over. Every single day you're taking your plan and you're doing the best you can with the time that you have to really build your business, okay? So third thing, share, sell your product, your inventory, acquire new customers, wherever you go, whatever you're doing. So I carry product with me wherever I go. You know, many times when I am places and people, I do an eye serum demonstration. I did one the other day in a clothing store, and the lady wanted the eye serum. I happened to have a brand new bottle in my purse. I got her information. I told her I was going to charge her credit card one time, and she got the product right then and there. So, you know, you can do business as you go along your day. A weekly market party or real results party. Okay, this is a really great way to learn the business. When Robert and I got involved, there were 2 market parties going on. One was in Orange County and one was in Ventura. The one in Orange County was an hour and a half away in traffic, sometimes 2 hours. And the one in Ventura was about an hour away. And when we first got started, we made it our business at least once or twice a week to go to a market party so we could hear other leaders talk. We wanted to hear their story. We wanted to know why they were doing what they were doing. We wanted to understand what this industry was about. And we oftentimes went by ourselves and never brought a guest with us. It was part of our training. It was part of being part of the rhythm. It was part of connecting. And so I'm a big proponent of that. If you don't have a market party around you, you know, you're a leader. Create what you want. Create a market party, okay? You've got the slides in the back office. You've got everything that you need. Real results party is the best and easiest thing to do in your own home with 1 or 2 people or a group of people. It doesn't really matter. You get to design that, and all the information is in the back office for you. Or you have an executive team of leaders and business partners and different sponsors, sidelines, uplines, around lines. It doesn't really matter. We're all here to wrap ourselves around you and give you all the support that you need. Training. You want to plug into training, right? You want to get to a monthly regional. Monthly regionals are a bigger vision of what this company is about. Again, another place to connect with people that are doing what you're doing and to hear the stories of the people that have had success and how they've had success. The convention that comes once a year is just a monumental event for you. It's a place where you're going to meet people from all over the world now, and you're going to come in and you're going to see what this company is all about. It's going to build your belief. It's going to build your vision. It's a very, very important aspect of this business. Every big, giant company, you know, insurance companies, real estate companies, they all have conventions. Why? Because they want people coming together. They want that energy in the room. The number 8 is one of the biggest things I think in any business, and that's committing to personal development. If you don't have a personal development system in your life, it's very, very difficult to discipline your disappointments. It's easier to give up if you're not personally developing yourself. If you're not growing as a person, if you're not growing as a human, it's very, very difficult as you grow older, because it really is all about growth. The way you grow successfully in anything in your life is by being strong in your mind. And so Nerium has done an exceptional job. They not only do they offer personal development in your back office, but you can get personal development in everything that Nerium does in terms of the training on Nerium U, the corporate calls, you know, Jeff Olson's 3D CDs. I mean, there's nothing but personal development that surrounds this company because you have a founder that leads by example. He had a personal development company, you know. So one of the aspects of my personal story was I thought I was doing personal development before I ever got involved with Nerium. I had gone to many seminars throughout the years. And, you know, it's so interesting because that's what I did. I would go to a seminar and I wouldn't, you know, I wasn't reading anything every day. I wasn't working on myself. I wasn't trying to keep my head strong. I would go to a seminar, I'd take some notes, and that was it. And I thought I was personally developing myself. So this is something that I think is one of the key, you know, I guess you could call another secret weapon. If you are personally developing yourself in business, you have a rock solid foundation as a human being. And I think that's super important, okay? And then finding a workout partner. So in your game plan, you know, you need accountability. You're a business owner. So if you're not working out with somebody else and you're not, you know, being accountable with somebody else. It's very, very difficult when you're on your own as an owner. And I know this because when I was an owner, I had a partner, and my partner wasn't even my workout partner. I couldn't discuss anything with him. He was the worst partner in the world. And so I understand the value and the necessity of having a workout partner that really, really wants to do something with you, that wants to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do and that they're doing what they're supposed to do. So find that workout partner. You might have a few different workout partners. It doesn't matter. Number 10 is committing to be here in a year. I say commit to being here in 5 years. I think any strong business, you have to build foundation. It took me, let's say I'm 5.5 years in this industry, never been in this industry before. I would say that, anybody that wants to master an industry needs their 10,000 hours. And really, you can't do that in a year. Your first year in this business is kind of figuring it out. And if you're really, really focused on really making this a serious side business for yourself, or maybe a full-time business, it's going to take longer than a year to really understand all the aspects. But that's the fun of building this business, because as you grow and as you move forward, that will all happen organically for you, right? So commit to being here in 5 years. I want you guys, no matter where you are in the company in terms of how long you've been in, I want you to really know your resources, okay? Now, you obviously have an upline and you obviously have sideline, and there's also a lot of other business partners that you meet along the way. But understand this, Jeff Olson is your resource, okay? Deborah Heights, who's the president, is your resource. Mark Smith and Tammy Smith are your resource. Anna Camp is your resource. Every single person who's a leader in this company is your resource. And you have to understand what a huge benefit to that is, because the reality is if you were working for Microsoft, I would say to you that you might be able to talk about Bill Gates, but I don't know necessarily that he could be your real resource. And when I say Jeff Olson can be your real resource, I would say for a CEO, this is a guy that is very, very accessible in many, many ways. Because if you can't personally get to him, I know that there's somebody on your team that can. And that's how you know that you have solid resources in this company, okay? That you have people that can get to people to help you. And so understand that in business it's a rare thing, you guys. It's really rare that you can get to the people that you need when you need them, okay? So as you're building your business, put down who your support team is. Put down who your resources. Have that handy. Make that known to new people. I have an executive team of resources all the way up to Jeff Olson to help us succeed in this business. That is God's honest truth, and I believe that wholeheartedly, okay? I also want to let you guys know that every Monday through Friday we do Zooms. We do a mastermind Zoom. It's not a mandatory thing. It's a thing to plug into. The rhythm of Nerium has the corporate call. They have Nerium University. They have, when you get to senior director in the car, you have the senior director call. When you get to national marketing director, you have the national marketing director call. You have leadership calls that you can get involved with. This is a company that is constantly allowing you to plug in if you want to. Take advantage of it. And this team, our team, we have a mastermind Zoom that anyone's welcome to come into. It's not mandatory. You can, drop in whenever you want. But what I'll tell you is, and what it does for us, is it allows us to work together to do best practices. And I think when you're talking about building a foundational business in an industry that you may be new to, like I was, it's really great to be able to have a bunch of people to talk to share your story with, to share, any of your issues with, your problems, to do best practices. So the reality, you guys, is that Nerium has provided us with a very simple plan, a game plan that we just need to remind ourselves with every single month if we want, and we need to design the game plan that works for us in our life. I will tell you, most of you that are on this Zoom today, you're all very, very busy people. You all have things that you do and things that you're passionate about. And so this is another thing that I believe wholeheartedly as an on-purpose person, that you can be as effective as you want. But the main thing about it, the biggest thing, is you have to implement the plan. It's okay to write it down. It's okay to have it in front of you, but if you want it to happen, if you want something to happen, you have to implement it. And so guys, that's our game plan for today. I really appreciate you showing up. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I know that this is going to be one of the best, September, October, November, December, any of you can imagine. And whatever it is you decide where you want to be, you're going to achieve it. So let's implement the plan and let's stick together and make it happen. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you, Annie.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you.